Hey everyone, I'm Sid. I'm the senior product designer in Mark43. I work on the record management system where I focus on making sure that officers can easily add their traffic crash reports and details around that, and then they can process it with their departments easily. So today I'm going to answer the question, what does the process of UX or a product designer hiring look like in Mark43? So Mark43 is a fully remote organization, and all our interviews are happening remotely. We don't do any in-person interviews as of right now. Might change in the future, we don't know. So the process basically has three main stages. The first stage is the phone screening, second stage is your work presentation, and the third stage is basically design PM interviews. And I'm going to talk into detail about each one of them. So the first one was phone screening. Here you're going to be talking to either a senior or a lead product designer. What's the goal of this process is to understand you as a designer, what your goals are, what are you looking for in your next team, and if you might be a good fit for Mark 43, right? But at the same time, this is also an opportunity for you to learn more about Mark 43. What do we do as a team? How does the design team work? What do we do outside design team? How do we collaborate with engineers? All sorts of questions that you want to learn about. Feel free to ask them. This is a good place to do that. Stage number two, work presentation. This is a 45-minute interview where you're going to be presenting your work to a bunch of senior designers, lead designers, design managers, product design associates, all sorts of people from the design team. And why are we doing this? So here we are trying to understand two things, right? One, what's your work process? What's your design process? How do you address a challenge? And we would ask for you to use a previous example from your last workplace or something like that. And secondly, what we're trying to understand is how you look at visual design challenges and how do you approach that, because as a product designer at Mark 43, you're doing both research and design, but the goal here is to understand how your process works. Yeah. And at the end of this interview, for it's 30 minutes long of your presentation, we're going to have a 15-minute Q&A. Different people will ask about different questions, and you're again welcome to ask more questions about our process, how we work, what do we do. The last thing is this third stage is basically a bunch of interviews, and it includes two whiteboarding challenges, one interview with the PM, and one values alignment. The whiteboard challenges are basically 1 hour long. They will have 45 minutes of you actually doing a whiteboard challenge. You're going to be working with one or two designers, either a senior designer or a product designer. And we use FigJam for this. So we'll give you a hypothetical situation where you have to come up with a solution. It's not something that we use for work and trying to make you do unpaid work. The goal here is to understand your thought process again, see how you approach a problem, see how you collaborate with other designers and ask questions and clarify any doubts that they might have and go through that process. Why are we doing two of them? The first one's going to be focused more on your how you address a challenge and how do you think through it with different constraints. And the second one is going to be looking at how do you kind of plan for that thing, right? Like if you have a bigger process, how do you plan, break it down, look at the thing. Uh, Again, when I did the challenge, it was pretty straightforward. It was 1 hour where I actually felt I was designing, because you get to work with these designers from a different team and understand how they think as well. So it's a very engaging process. It's definitely a lot of value for both you as a designer and for our team to understand how we work as in the design profession, right? The next one is basically coffee with PM. Why do we do this? Pretty straightforward. You're going to be working with a product manager once you join Mark 43. So they're trying to assess how you collaborate with them, how much emphasis you put on research versus design, and how do you approach looking at these things. They'll ask you questions based on your previous experience, expectations, and things like that. It's usually a 30-minute chat, not really long. The last thing that we do is called values alignment. Here we're trying to see if what your core values are, what you really care about in life, does that align with what we really care about in our employees here at Mark 43. You can always go on our website and check it on the career page. We have all the values listed down and see about that. So yeah, it's pretty much that. That's the final round of the interview for that. After that, we will group together as a team, see all our decisions, see what the feedback everyone has to offer, and based on that make a decision and send you an offer letter. Before I close out, I want to give a shout out to our recruiting team. They're very transparent, and I would really ask you and urge you to ask more questions to them. If you're confused about the process, if you want to learn more about what your expectations are, reach out to them. They're very open about the process and they'll let you know what the next steps are. Bye.